Yo guys, Mike for Sim Racing 604, and welcome for the first time to PISTA Motorsport. This is a new simulation on the market by a studio called Studio 56, and some of the people behind it you may know as REG Simulation. This is an Assetto Corsa modding team who's decided to try their hand at making a complete sim. For right now, it is pretty rudimentary. We only have time trial mode and practice mode, so effectively, do you want to race against the clock, against the rest of the world, or do you just want to try out the cars? So that's exactly what I'm doing today, just trying out the cars. So we're in the Pro Car 4000 at Autodromo San Nicolas. We'll do one more after this as well. This is a fun little, and by the way, it should be age pattern shifted, but I've decided to just go with the paddle shifts. I'm still kind of working out some kinks in the new studio. Whoa. Back end wanted to get loose there. This is a pretty lively, pretty peaky engine in this car. And so yeah, it's a Argentinian-based racing simulator. And so very niche, but then again, we said that about Automobilista, and the sequel to Automobilista has turned out to be one of the biggest simulations of recent years. So this is a pretty cool, I guess you could call it proof of concept for REG Simulation / Studio 56. Can they actually release a title? Well, they can into at least early access, which is what we have here. And I must say, it tracks pretty well. We don't have much to test. Like, there's no online racing, there's no single player racing. All we have is the ability to try the cars out. So basically, this is a physics test. And in my opinion, at least, it passes. It is very, very drivable. The force feedback is decent, and in the garage you do have setup options, and the handling of the cars is very good. I'm super impressed with what they've been able to put together. And again, still early access. There's still a long way to go in development. The graphics aren't that great. The sounds, I think, are great. Listen to this car. I'll shut up for a second. So I do like the sounds of that. And just how alive the car feels. Like, this is already ahead of many more well-known racing titles. I don't dare get into names because I know people are sensitive about their favorite racing titles. But in my opinion, the even early access physics already set it apart from a lot of titles in the racing game space. So well done to Studio 56 here, off to a flying start. All right. So we are going to finish this lap, and then we'll try out the Formula 3 car at a more well-known track. But yeah, I love the feeling of the back end of this car, kind of stepping out, getting lively. Feels really good. So yes, I am pleased. Judging it very much, you know what, I'll go one more lap. I'm having a good time here. Judging it purely based on, you know, the very limited selection. I think we have 4 cars and maybe 4 locations and a few variants of the tracks within those locations. So not much to go by here. But again, judging it based on the little bit of content we have been presented with, I can see this being something. Again, going back to Automobilista 2, and you go back to the early days of Reza Studios and Stock Car Pro and things like that, when it was like, you know, well, in that case, it was a single series. Woo. But, yeah, when you look at it and you go, well, why would you limit yourself? Why would you make anything that niche? And again, it's, whoa, back end's really stepping out there. You know, that niche value is one of the things that sets AMS and AMS2 apart. So I could see this working out for Studio 56. Pretty cool. Whoa. Oh, they're going to avoid this lap. Managed to keep 2 tires on. I was on for a fastest lap there, but I have thrown it away. Now my tires are hot. Yeah, I can see there's a tire gauge. I think my dumb face is covering it up in the lower left-hand corner. But there is a tire gauge that'll tell you your temps. And yeah, the rears got hot there. Not too bad, but they did get hot. So yeah, good tire model early on already. By the way, if you're saying to yourself, well, there's not enough here, I don't really want to buy this, fine. You can also check out RG Simulation, and their website does offer Assetto Corsa car and track mods that I would say are worth trying out, so give that a go. Alright, let's go for another car and track combo. Alright, so here we are, Termes de Rio Hondo. This is a track you may know from AMS2 actually, and I love it. I think the AMS2 version is quite a bit better if I'm being honest. This one seems to lack some of the elevation change that I love so much about the AMS2 version. But just the same, we're here in the Formula 3 car, going to test it out. And yeah, it just appears a bit flat to me. So in terms of the quality of the content, I got to deduct a point. I am assuming, since they have come this far with releasing the track, that they're not going to go back and adjust elevation, so we might just be stuck with this kind of flattened out version of the circuit, but who knows? We'll see where they end up. But the Formula 3 car, very, very fun, and I know the question will pop up in the chat, or in the comment section. What does this feel like? What are the physics like? And I would say the closest I could get it is Assetto Corsa. I would say it feels like one of the more lively cars from Assetto Corsa. Feels quite nice, and unsurprisingly, because I'm sure the vision that REG Simulations had for their cars in Assetto Corsa, they were able to kind of get more of what they wanted with their own title. So unsurprisingly, they have borrowed, and not to imply theft, but borrowed some of the best elements that they enjoyed about working within Assetto Corsa and incorporated it into their own simulation. So yeah, that's how we end up with PISTA Motorsport. And yeah, so you can see this section here feels way too flat for me. There's not enough elevation change. So hopefully that doesn't become a thing with them where we lose the elevation, that important third dimension in track building. Whoa, just about lost it there. Oh, I did lose it there. You hear those sounds, again, very impressive. Just as like an early concept, I think they've really done a great job with their sounds. Alright, let's see if we can get a clean lap here at Termes de Rio Hondo. I'm sure I'm saying that terribly, but just the same, you guys understand what I'm saying. I'm getting at decent heads-up display here. Gives you all the information. Again, my face is covering up a lot of it. The tires, the tire wear, the tire temp, tire compound are all shown in the lower left corner of the screen. Thank you for not voiding that lap there. Lower right corner, you can see that's kind of your basic, your gear, your speed, your tachometer, shift indicators if they're not on the dash. And then top center of the screen, we have the delta and the virtual mirror. And then top right, of course, track map. And then a little, Mike, come on, wake up. Horrible corner. Top left corner of the screen, we have our fastest lap and the remaining time in the session, as well as current lap time. I think I'm somewhere around 2 minutes around this circuit in this car, if I'm not mistaken. It's a long circuit, but again, I really like it. That's a difficult corner. That first little 90-degree kink there, it really mess you up. See, there's a bit of elevation change in front of us, but I feel like that's not enough. Maybe it's me, maybe it's just my bad memory, but that doesn't seem to capture the elevation of this circuit. I'll have to go back and check the AMS2 version. But yeah, super fun. I love the way this drives. Long way to go on the graphics. Long way to go on, making the environment here at these circuits more immersive. But I think fundamentally this is sound. All right, we'll do one more lap here. Now that we have a reference lap, see if we can set a PB. I had that one awful corner, or at least one awful corner on that previous lap, so I'm sure it will be manageable to set a new PB. But yeah, where do you go from here? I mean, they're going to have to get some more content into the title pretty quick here and enable at least single-player racing if there's not a fully understood plan for the multiplayer. But get some level of racing to keep your audience's attention here in PISTA Motorsport. But again, I support it. I really think they're setting themselves up for success based on what I've felt so far. That was the awful corner on the last lap, and I've just stolen back a second and a half, so yay me. Oh, 2:09 was my previous best. I thought it was closer to 2. And this is that difficult corner, because again, it just goes really, really sharp at the start of the corner, which I'm sliding past, and then it kind of opens up from there. And this little blind S, I love this. Just gotta hope you're on the right line or understand, using a reference not on the track, where your line is, where you're headed, and set yourself up for success through that difficult S section. Love the sounds. Come on, Mike. No. All right. So I avoided. This is where you need that H pattern shifter, by the way. Just the paddle shift is just kicking that back end out. So that's going to be avoided laps. Let's go one more here. I'm not having a bad time. I'm happy to go one more lap, frankly. A little lock up on the front there. So no audible indicators for sliding. By the way, there is a wetness. This also supports VR out of the box, which is cool. Yeah, it's some open XR, is that what it's called? Anyway, there is VR available for those interested. But there is track moisture levels, so I don't think the weather model has been fully implemented, but it's at least in the works. So that's cool. So by the time everything's said and done, this should be a proper sim. But until then, we have a hot lapping sim, which I don't think will interest a ton of people. But yeah, it gets my personal stamp of approval just based on sort of a physics concept. And we'll see where they go from here. All right, my least favorite corner. Bleed out as much speed as possible, try and get in close to that apex and out as fast as possible. That was a little bit better, gain a bit of time back there. Up to 3-second gap to my personal best. And again, slowing through this blind S. Try to carry as much speed as possible without dooming yourself to being too wide and missing the back half of that S. Alright, so no downshift into first here. Man, the circuit is killer. What a great choice to include this. I gotta go back to this in AMS too. Oh boy, that was close. Thought I lost it. I was just sliding. Again, no audio to indicate that I was sliding. So, 206.448. Nothing special, but just the same, very, very fun. PISTA Motorsport off to a great start, in my opinion, physics-wise. Long way to go before this is a proper game or proper racing experience, but good start. Well done to the team at Studio 56. REG Simulations. Their website will be linked in the description. Go check them out. Check out their AC mods. Check out their new title, Early Access on Steam. All right, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.